What's going on, guys? Skyler Randall here, better known as No Muzzle SK, man. Here with you guys on this blessed top of the week, and we're going to be talking about the commands. The command that God has given man in the beginning. Not commandments, but commands. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, and subdue and have dominion on the earth. We're going to dive in. I'll be breaking it down part by part, series by series. But today, we're going to dive in strictly on being fruitful. So before I dive in on explaining and giving guys the perspective and revelation that I've received on being fruitful and on these commands, I want to give you the reason of this video. The purpose of this video is because everybody have in their mind what success is. But here's the thing, you can have the worldly success or you can have the kingdom success, the success that God provides. Well, here is the kingdom success, but not many follow it because people don't understand it. So we run into the worldly success, but this is the ultimate success. The worldly give temporary success, but the kingdom always give eternal success. All right, first thing first, I want to make a side note pertaining to being fruitful and multiply. This may come off to other people wrong, or especially people like me who grew up misinterpreting this command. Be fruitful and multiply. I'm here to tell you God was not just talking about having kids. We grew up thinking this way and taught conditioned this way, but God was just not talking about having kids. So I want you to know that first and foremost. Be fruitful and multiply. He weren't just talking about having kids, but our offspring does have something to do with being fruitful and multiplying. So being fruitful, I want to say first off that the meaning of being fruitful doesn't change, but there are many ways that you can be fruitful. Now, let's use the analogy. In order for an apple tree to grow, it must start off as a seed, right? We all know the process of a seed growing, and then it grows into a plant and a tree. If it's an apple tree in this example, then it will go from a seed and then a plant and then the apple trees, and then it will sprout up. It will bear fruit, and there'll be multiple of the fruit, right? The reason that we must be fruitful is not just for our self-benefit, but it's for the world benefit as well. The people around you, that goes into the multiply, replenish part. So we're just going to stay with fruitful, but there's always a purpose for something. And this is the purpose of being fruitful, for the seed to not only show up inside of you, but around you as well. It's all for other people. You know, when they say, when God bless you, it's meant to bless other people. That's exactly what your seed is going to do. It's not just for you, just for you to just gain wealth and success. No, it's for you to shed light on something in someone else's life, and they benefit from it as well. There's nobody higher, nobody has more resources or money in the kingdom of heaven. There's not no such thing as that. It's common wealth. Everybody have abundance and everybody have access to wealth. So, and the whole point is to bring the kingdom culture to here on earth. All right. So what does it mean to be fruitful to us? To be fruitful to us is simply, God is implying that he put a seed inside of us. And that seed was meant to, just as a seed in the ground, to be buried in good soil, to develop and grow, to bear fruit as an apple tree, to be fruitful that bears many fruit. So think about it. Fruitful is just full of apples. I mean, full of fruit. That's what it means. To be fruitful is just to be full of fruit. All right. So God implanted a seed inside of us, right? And in that seed comes with everything that's designed strictly for us to develop, to put in good soil, right? To water, to cultivate, to enhance, to develop as it grows into a tree to be fruitful. All right, so I'm going to give you guys an example of being fruitful in our time as humans, as God instructed us to do. So let's look at let's do an example. if God put a seed inside of you, and the seed was based around singing, right? Being fruitful with that seed of singing would look like, because it starts as a seed, right? It must, just like a process of growing something, the seed must get isolated. In order for a seed to develop into a tree, it must be isolated, guys. So that means sometimes God will have to steer you away, just for you to break out of that seed form to start getting the root work. It's the root work that nobody sees. Nobody sees the root work. Nobody sees when the seed is actually in the ground, but that does not mean it's not growing. So this is normally the beginning process of it. Now, it also has to be in good soil. Good soil is symbolic to environment. What kind of people do you have around you in everyday life? What are some distractions that take away from your time from you developing your singing seed? You could be doing vocal classes, but if you're just watching football or doing this or doing whatever the case may be, it's not going to work like that. So in order for a seed to develop anyway, it has to be in good soil. That is the surrounding. That's what surrounds the seed. Just like a seed is in the ground and it's good soil or dirt surrounded, whatever surrounded it is going to determine whether or how quickly that seed either grows or dies and never just develop, period. So what that looks like to us, we must watch the company that we are around, the environment. Is it good for your singing? Are you in a good space to where you could spend time with less distractions, developing singing, which is the seed in this case, developing? Are you among other singers who maybe could give you tips and good advice and things like that? All of this is the good soil, right? Now, watering, the root work, sometimes, like I said, it's the things that we don't see. And that could symbolize in many things. But for me, it symbolizes that you have to go different directions. Sometimes your seed, sometimes it's multiple gifts that God give you. So sometimes you get pulled this way, you get pulled that way. It's different directions. It's not the only direction isn't just up. As a seed, it breaks out in roots first and then goes up. So I think the experiences that you have in life is the roots canal that you experience before you actually go up while developing the seed. All right, so just to make sure that you're tracking on your toes. So we say in order for a seed to grow and develop, it has to be in good soil. We use your environment as the soil where you're planting your seed. You got to be careful where you put yourself because you harbor the seed that's within you. So you got to make sure that the environment is good for your seed in order for it to grow. Then we say the root work, right? You break how life sometimes take you in many directions. This could be suffering. This could be challenges, trials. A seed just don't start in the ground and then just go up. No, it got to start the root system. So it go many directions to get deeply. Also, that root system is always, remember this, always embedded and founded in God. If you don't have God as your stabilizer, then when the storm comes, that tree and the root system could be pulled up. So you always remember that. So we got good soil, root system. All right, so watering will be the time that you would spend, like let's say singing, right? We said singing, vocal classes, vocal ranges. Like these are little things that education on the seed that's there, because you're not doing anything but adding value to it. That's the watering. And that could be the sunlight. But I also will go further with the light. We got past the good soil. We got past the rooting system. We did the watering. Now let's talk about the sunlight, because a plant needs sunlight, right? So with a revelation that I received from sunlight, that will be the light exposes, right? The light always exposes. So in my perspective, you would need to place the seed of singing, as our example, into a place where it could be exposed. Where some light could be shedded on your seed, no matter what stage that it's in. It needs sunlight because sunlight helps everything grow. So for singing, as an example, that would be a couple showcases, maybe some volunteering singing. Don't have to be paid gigs. You're not there yet, but you're getting there. anywhere where you could just put your seed on spotlight so that it shine, that it may be exposed. And you just never know who's there on that term. So let me not get off subject, but that's sunlight, exposing your gift. All right, so I gave you all of the resources that a seed needs to be developed to grow into a tree. Good soil, a seed needs to be in good soil. I gave you the rooting system example. It needs to be watered. A plant has to be watered, right? And it needs sunlight. Now, these are all the resources that is only needed, not money, not fancy cars, not good clothes, jewelry, not none of that. Just these four. Good soil, water, sunlight, right? And then, of course, the rooting system, which is that's a part of the demonstration. So after that, you don't need nothing else. That's all you need. You need a good environment to place your seed in. You need to be able to withstand the stability being founded in God, because the root system the day you say, I want to be fruitful, is the day your rooting system starts, and it don't just go up. So for everybody who was once like me thinking that, you start one day that you're supposed to see results tomorrow, no, it's not working that way. I told you, the seed being in the ground is the work that nobody sees. But when you sprout up, everybody sees you, right? This is what being fruitful is. You go through that process and you become an apple tree that produce multiple apples. That's being fruitful. This really won't work for you if you don't have God words and God laws. This won't work for you at all. Sorry. That's just kingdom success. Kingdom starts with the king. There's no way around it. But anyway, that will cover our portion from God commands: be fruitful, multiply, replenish, and subdue, and have domain. We have just covered the first part of being fruitful. Congratulations. You guys stay tuned. You are tuned in with Skyler Randall at Purpose Driven Ability. I'll see you guys soon for what we will talk about multiplying. We talked about fruitful. Now we'll get in multiplying. I am out.